All right, y'all, we are out here this morning. It is October the 18th, and I just want to take you guys to my compost pile. As you can see, what's going on here. There's a lot of natural material, grass clippings, coffee grounds. Look at that, guys. All this is coffee grounds. This is all from the chickens and the turkeys. And look at all this pile going all the way down here of natural materials. The leaves are also falling from the trees, and I haven't yet started to dump leaves on here because I'm also going to dump leaves here. See that? This is all coffee grounds. So I'm getting ready to turn this compost pile. It's a really big one. So I'm going to turn it because it's about to rain on the weekend. And today's what? Today's Wednesday. So I got to get this going. I know it's not heated up right now. I'm going to grab my compost thermometer and check it just to see how it's doing. Over here I have more compost. This is all compost, guys. Everything you see here that's spread out, it's compost. Right? So even if I needed materials to add to my garden, I can grab it from here because this is all going to break down over time. I have another pile over here. I have more in my other garden, in the front, my bigger garden. So I got a lot going on here with compost, and I have a lot of natural materials that I can feed to my garden, to my plants, to my trees. So let me just grab the compost thermometer. And let's go take a look and see what the temperature in this compost pile is. Look at that, guys. I cleaned up my back garden here. I pulled everything out. I also removed the trellises that I had here, the cattle panel trellises. And there's compost all here. And more leaves to fall because look at that. Look how much green leaves we still have going on. So it's going to be a late season of gathering leaves this year. It's going to be cold out too. But let's just check this out and see what's going on. What are we at now? 50 degrees out here. So let me just stick this in here just to see if there's any heat, if it's going to warm up down in there. And as you can see, it's going up already. So there's some warmth down there, so that shows that it's active. But at the same time, I actually want it hot in this gray area right here. I want it hot, so I'm just gonna turn that compost and allow it to heat up some. So after letting this sit for a couple minutes, this is where the marker is at. It's not even at 70 degrees. It's right at the 69 marker right there. So that's not where I want it. I want it not even in the active section here. I want it in the hot section because I want this material to break down here over time. And this has been sitting here all season long. I keep dumping more and more materials on it. There's a whole lot of chicken poop. I'm sorry to be gross, but I have to show the real deal of what's going on here. This is real and it's raw. I actually gather buckets and buckets of coffee grounds that can add nitrogen to the compost pile. I get it for free. I think I might have another couple of coffee buckets here. I think this is one right here. Let me just open it up. Alright guys, so this is the coffee grounds right here. This is the coffee filters, and this here is biodegradable, so this is all going to break down. This material adds carbon to the pile, and the coffee ground adds nitrogen. So all these components here are needed for the compost to heat up and break down. We need carbon, we need nitrogen, we need water, we need air, and this is why we turn it. So we're going to head back on over to the compost pile. But before we do, guys, this here is some eggshells I've been saving. And I do have a lot of eggshells. I'm making some compost tea here. It's really gross. And let me show you. This is, hold up, a 20-gallon container. So this is already filtered. This is already filtered out. So I started off in this bucket here. I use the rainwater that I catch here in my catchment system. I started in this bucket, and then I just use a piece of where is it? There it is. I use a piece of this chicken wire right here to filter out all the heavier sediments, and I strain it into this 20-gallon container right here, and I just cover it with a trash bag and let it sit there. But in the meantime, this is also brewing. I'm going to give it a good stir, and this is all leaves, dry leaves, green leaves, flower petals, and all that stuff from the garden. Chicken scrap, see that? Banana peel. So that's what I've been doing. It's been sitting here for about 4 months now, and it's nice and thick. So I'll let that break down some and filter it in as the season go along. I did add some eggshells to it. I have kelp in here, or seaweed, whatever you want to call it, and I allow that to break down to feed it to my container, especially to my container gardening. But yeah guys, this is what's going on here, and with the way things are going, I'd rather use natural materials, knowing what's going into my plant, into my garden, into my food, and also into my body. I also have some, let me show you. Actually, guys, I collect everything. This is all wood ash here. When we use a lot of wood because we spend a lot of time outdoors. So when we use the fire pit right here, I collect the wood ash in a metal bucket, and then when it's cooled off for a couple of weeks, I have it sitting there, and then I put it in a plastic container, and that also goes to my garden. It goes to my compost pile, and I use up everything that I possibly can around here. All natural stuff, guys. Nothing goes to waste. Beautiful dandelions, and this is 2 different varieties I have here. Look how beautiful this is. I have to do a little harvest. This is another variety right here. I have a few different varieties, but these were intentionally planted here earlier in the spring. But let's continue to the compost pile. Alright, and this does not smell at all. If your compost pile is smelling, then something's going on. You need to adjust it. Alright, so it didn't go a bit higher. So this compost pile is actually cold. I would call this cold. There is some warmth down in there, but it's not hot enough for this to break down. And so that's why I'm going to go ahead and I am going to turn this today and allow it to start heating up. And I'll check it again in a few days. So I would need to turn this compost pile once a week. It's gonna have to turn into 2 because this is about 20 feet long, and it's already about 3 feet high that on that end, and 2.5, 3 feet high on this end. So there's a lot of material here that needs to break down to be ready for next year's gardening season. So my garden is going to be happy. It's all natural materials, and some people may not want to like gather coffee grounds or what have you, but to be honest guys, this is just my practice and my choice. I think it's personal preference, and I'm okay with collecting the coffee grounds because it's going to go in the trash either way. So I just add it, and it benefits my soil, it benefits my plants, and it's natural materials. I hope you enjoyed this video. This preparation is for next year's garden season. If you're not prepared yet and you're doing a garden season next year, it's not too late. Get your compost going, enriching your soil, enriching your plant. You're going to get high production, nutritious production, and you would have food to eat. I hope you enjoyed this video, and as always, thank you for watching, and I'll see you again on the next upload.